Kraken Cove, shining a beacon on the bizarre.
Oh, it's just nice having a little post-surgery rest. Laid here now in the little lovely little wheelchair. Got a nice little view out the windows. Oh, it's lovely.
Hey, Skip, how you doing, son?
Shit,
We're ready.
alive.
We're all ready. You ready? Come on then. Come on.
What we
It's
all ready
Covey
for?
time. Covey. We haven't done it for ages. Come on,
What
we're
do you-
ready.
Wait, calm down. What?
No.
Covey. What do you mean?
Bit of Cove. Are you ready? Come on. You've been laid about like a lazy sack.
For 4 hours?
I
I've only
know.
just got back from hospital.
Yeah, but 4 hours. You should be all healed up. You should be all ready. Come on.
All right, well,
Come on.
But look, I'm up here now. I'm in the light area where we've converted for a lovely little sort of peaceful space for me. You know what I mean? I've got me lovely.
You've had 4 hours.
All right.
Come on.
But where's all the microphones?
Downstairs. It's all set up in kitchen.
Mate, those stairs are really steep.
Come on, I'll get you down. Don't worry,
now
wheelie.
stop
No,
pushing.
come on. This is gonna be fine.
All right,
Don't tickles.
No, don't tickle.
Come on, let's go wheelie.
Right. Look, if
Now steady. Keep your knees in.
Right.
Knees in, Matt.
Right.
Ooh, it's heavy.
But these stairs, they're very steep.
They are, but if you keep your knees in.
All right, I've got my knees in. Oh, fucking hell.
It's heavy, Matt. Matt, it's real fucking heavy. Matt. You're alright. Let me come see you. You're alright down there. Come on. I won't tickle you. I'm just getting you up. Come on.
My stitches are burst out.
It looks like spaghetti. What's all that stuff?
That's because.
Let me just pop them back. Wait, I've got some sellotape. Just hands up. There we go.
Oh God.
Here's some tissue paper, a bit used, but it's alright. Just get that, dab it a little bit.
Oh, there we go. I think everything's back in our kid.
You don't look well at all, you.
Well, not now. You fucking tips us downstairs, you cunt.
Ooh.
Anyway, where's all fucking microphones?
Yeah, there you are, right. Wheelie up. Lovely. There you go. There's your papers.
Oh.
There's your papers. Let me just go wash my hands. It's fucking disgusting, is that?
Oh, well, thanks for that.
Yeah, clean all night.
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm just recovering. I was recovering from surgery. But Benny's here. And he said,
looking after you. Nurse Benny's here.
because this is Kraken Cove, the podcast that shines a beacon onto the bizarre. And I'm Matt.
And I'm a Benny.
And I'm in safe hands, I believe, with the Benny.
I didn't wash my hands. I don't know. You might have to dab that
What
down.
is all of your hands? Looks like feces.
Well, we ran out of toilet paper a bit ago. I just been
That's because I've
palming
not
it
been
off.
doing shopping. So I'll do a big shop later on today then.
Please, Skip. It's getting a bit out of hand. It's all these standards, if you don't mind.
The certain standards you're used to living up to.
Exactly. Yeah, a Benny of standards.
Well, while I'm here, I suppose we better do a bit of casting.
If you wouldn't mind.
And I think what we need to do is, before we just sort of say, right, let's get casting or anything like this, I think we should just roll into one little hot news story, which is just
that one you sent me last night.
Yeah, that little picture I sent you last night.
She's still got it, hasn't she?
She's not to lower her standards.
Talking of standards.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is a lovely story of Katie Price. Now, Katie Price, for those of you who don't know in America or other listeners overseas, Katie Price was known as Jordan for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And she was like the hot model for the sort of like, would you call it late 90s?
Yeah, late 90s. It used to be like before internet, there were like lads magazines. Well, not porn mags. They were like VH. I can't remember the name of them all now.
It was FHM.
Some shit like that.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
FHM. There was like Loaded. There was loads of car mags as
Exactly.
well. She was a big one for car
It was a
mags.
time when the rubber tits came in, and she championed English rubber tits. didn't she?
So she had like big lips, big hair, a slightly dead-looking face.
Yes,
I thought.
yeah.
So I think this tapped into what the lads really liked, which was
At the 90s, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
he soon got out of fashion, did a massive rubber knocker.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So and anyway, this model she kept it up. Whereas since then she's almost like a surgery every year, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now she basically looks like the cross between a sex doll and a Frankenstein's monster.
It is proper Frankenstein.
She's just made of 25% scar tissue.
And all she does is like drink, drive with no insurance, drive when she's banned, just constantly in court, constantly.
Did you see footage of her like her little horrible mansion?
No, I didn't see that bit. No.
So she'd got some sort of mansion house sort of thing, or some posh house, and it was a shithole.
Oh, God.
Because she's not cleaning up. She's not paying for anyone to clean up. She's living like a monster. And then she's always abroad and doing things. She's only recently been arrested and bailed again.
Yeah,
because
very
while
recently.
she's been bankrupt, completely bankrupt, she's gone back to Turkey to get more surgery.
Oh, jeez.
So she's come back with a face like a butcher's dustbin.
And it really does look bad. But I think she's constantly on OnlyFans as well. You know, getting up the old people back in the day. You know, we think, God, I can get Katie Price to like spread and wide now for a few quid. I think that's where
is that what she's doing?
that's the main source of income is OnlyFans. You know, like,
Well, I've heard what she's also doing is she's doing sort of quite a bit of basically. I mean, thing is OnlyFans basically, when we have to boil down, is sex work.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah.
is sex work. It's that some of it's remote, but I don't think all the things she's doing is remote.
Yeah.
I think for the right price, as we've discovered, I think Katie Price will basically do anything.
yes, I think she would.
Yeah, I don't think there's an upper limit to what she won't do.
Yeah, after that photo.
Yeah, so for those who might not have seen this latest photograph of Katie Price, she's laid out in all her glory on a bed,
She's got some
covered in
weird,
scars.
Yeah, scars everywhere. But she's kind of like holding her, arms, like a bit like a Jesus pose.
Yeah,
white linen, clean bed sheets,
Yeah, and
random tissue in her hand.
yeah, she's got a tissue in her hand, so wet wipes or something.
Totally
in her hand.
naked.
She's got like a little bit of a sort of like a calm posed face.
Yeah,
It looks a little bit
serene.
stressed. Serene face. Yeah,
And she's got like a heart tattoo on her fanny.
And then somebody's crimped off a massive poo on her
Yeah,
tummy.
yeah. Laid a big cable out on her. Big poo-poo. Big poo-poo on her tummy. What's all that about? And that one tissue is not going to help in that
It's
matter.
not shit to fucking dustpan and brush. That would be better in her hand. If she'd been holding a dustpan and brush.
It's a report.
Yeah, it's a...
Oh my God, what filthy fat man has just gone onto the top and just pooed.
Just done a poo on her, and she's let it, and the price has obviously been right.
The price is right for Katie Price. Come on down, Katie. The price is right.
So what her price list must be for this sort of thing
wow.
must be just off the chart. If you had enough money, you could basically get her to do anything.
That's 10 grand, I reckon.
That's what my figure was. I reckoned she's taken £10,000 to have somebody do a poo in her tummy. No. First of all, let's break down the logistics. Right, so she's laid there like that, right? She's agreed to the price, she's laid down, and she said, right, go on, knock yourself out, son.
Yeah.
So whoever's paid for this, right?
You've got to be quite nimble to do that, though, I think. You know what I mean?
So somebody's scuttled up on bed, haven't they? Needing a poo.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're like, but if I need a poo, I don't feel very sexy.
No, don't feel sexy at all.
I don't feel
But the thing is, I've done the squat toilet in Thailand, you know what I mean? I haven't got experience about not using the classic toilet.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it is hard. You know, on a flat surface, to get your western legs down into that squat, it's harder than it looks. The balancing of it is hard.
Now, I want...
The unstable mattress...
Yeah, tricky. Very tricky.
Is someone help?
I think she was probably holding his hands.
Oh, he's got to be on it.
So I think she's been holding him steady while he's been squatting over and grunting.
Maybe Harvey helped. He's a big unit.
He's just off
Harvey, he's an end.
Help your mother out.
Can't.
So this big lumbering lad's come in, right? You know, and held this bloke steady. Here's your new dad.
Yeah.
You know, help your dad out. Your new dad with this. And right, the next thing I want to know, was it face to face?
Oh.
Or was he
If you're paying for it, you'd like that one, wouldn't you?
I think that's basically what it is.
eye contact.
Now, if it was face to face, because it's about on a belly button, he'll have been quite far up the bed.
Yeah, maybe just like holding knockers, maybe. You know what I mean? You know, it's a good purchase.
Solid, like concrete.
Yeah, he could have hugged him, and that's how he's done it.
Yeah,
he's hugged the knockers and looked at it in the face and then done it.
Gone already in the face.
Yeah, picture must be part of it. You're like, I'll give you 10 grand to curl one off on you, and I want a picture.
Yeah, he's got this.
But to immediately put it online.
I don't think he's immediately done it. I think this is something that's leaked. So either somebody's
she's impressed.
It could be a hack. Yeah. That where it's like a leak, an accidental leak.
Yeah.
These three options. There's an accidental leak. There's he's somehow released it or decided to release it just for sort of like shits and giggles, excuse the pun, right? Or she's released it because she's basically kind of one of these people who just sort of thinks, all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. And that's the last of it for her, isn't it? She's used everything up. What could she do?
Well, this is the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless she sold the picture for like another 10 grand because she needs the money.
Yeah.
But if you pay me 10 grand, I will let you have a look at this picture of me with a big poo on my tummy, and I just think it's terrifying
It really
sort of thing,
is kind of shocking, isn't it?
Well, it is, but the flip side is I was talking to a couple of pals on the old WhatsApp about it, and we're all putting it down saying fucking okay, this is absolutely low. How much for a poo on your tummy? Now if I was there with a load of money now, right?
You're doing the poo?
I'm doing the poo on your tummy. Right.
Fucking
And you've got home steady on a bed, right? Dustpan and brushes nearby.
Yeah. Showers, everything's there.
Everything's there, right? And I had 10 grand.
It's 10 grand, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
That's it. I do that for 10 grand.
5?
So, yeah. 5 grand's a lot of money still.
It is, but I don't know if mine's going to be as solid as that.
Now you're talking. This is it, you see.
That's the danger, isn't it?
This is the danger. This isn't dealer's choice.
Yeah. She's lucky there. That could have just you could roll that off, couldn't you? You know what I mean?
It could have rolled off, or it could have been the whole because as well the excitement of the situation, as we all know.
Yeah, bit nervy tummy. How do you wash it off? You'd have to get in the shower, but then it's going to wash all over your jennies, then, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Basically, what they've done is the tissues are ready to pick off the lumps.
Yeah.
Right? Then they'll have a little wipe down with a wet wipe.
Yeah.
That's when she'll get up.
Yeah.
And she'll basically hose it off. Right. And that's basically it. So this is the thing is, and it could have been a disaster.
Oh man, massive.
It could have been just an absolute. It could have been 3 litres of soup. Because sometimes
when it goes wrong, I could have dumped bed, everything.
Everything could have been destroyed. Because this is another thing. Gwyneth Paltrow recently. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
There's this guy that she knows, and he's basically just known as like a bit of a friend of the stars. He's like a socialite bloke.
Yeah.
And she apparently in an interview recently talked about this guy saying, he's like just one of her best friends. But she says, I'm a bit suspicious about him because he just seems to be partying and going on holidays with loads and loads of famous people. But he doesn't really bring much to the table himself. He just seems to be a friend of the stars.
Yeah.
But she said once she got to know him, she says she just loved him. She thought he was absolutely amazing, this really, really amazing guy. And I thought, that's a bit odd in itself. But apparently what's happened is it Ozempic, this new drug that everybody's taking to get thinner.
Oh yeah, and that's why there's none of them pens anymore, isn't there? EpiPens.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the
massive shortage of them because everybody just jabbing themselves with sort of like off-brand Ozempic to get thin again.
Jesus.
And what's happened is apparently it does have an adverse effect, does Ozempic.
Right.
In the fact, what's happened is this guy's had a stay over at lovely Gwyneth Paltrow's house, and he's basically shat the bed.
Oh.
And apparently the guest room, he's just destroyed the guest room.
Wow.
And apparently what he's done is, like on Train Spotting, what I mean? He's just sort of like, he's woken up and thought, oh no!
Oh,
right.
God.
And he's fled the scene.
Wow.
He's fled the scene,
Jesus.
apparently, right? And the rumour's gone about, and list of people, the people who she told, look, this has happened. I'm not sure of their names exactly, but it's basically like Tom Hanks and people like this. Yeah. They are big names.
All the Robins.
All the people she's just turned around and said, like, you know, so-and-so who's everybody's friend. Yeah. He's just absolutely shat all off my spare rooms.
Jesus. Is he still on the run?
I don't know. But what I love about it is this is what could have happened to this guy. This is what could have happened to Katie.
Proper full double-barrelled shotgun mess.
Yeah, it could have, and it could have kept coming.
Oh.
So while it's all going wrong, she's like going, no. It goes,
yes.
Floodgates are open, just pouring out of him. Oh. She could have just been...
On an off chance, could it be animal?
Well, whoever's done it is an animal for a start. If that's how you get your job. No, I don't want to be too judgmental with people. You know, I mean, people have got a lot of different things they're into and stuff like that. Poo play for me, it's a little bit on the dark side, and it's
bit of scat.
And I think it's almost like like with sex. Once you've actually finished, you sort of think, right, you want to know what else to do with it, do you?
Yeah.
I'm also like that with a poo.
Yeah.
There's nothing more important than a poo
Yeah.
before I've done a poo.
Yeah,
Afterwards, I can't wait to get rid of the evidence.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So when he's done the poo, when he's backing up and looking a big poo on Katie Price, is that when he's barred up and boned up and thinking this is wonderful?
I think it's a humiliation thing in a way. I think there's some dark.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think there's some dark ownership of that.
Really? Because you see this sometimes outside, don't you? Foxes do poos on certain things to sort of almost like territorially mark things. Do you think do you think mentally he now owns Katie? In a way, he does.
He does, but it's that bit he's been wanking over all through 90s. Then he just thought, he got to that point probably paying her on OnlyFans all the time, and he thinks it's the ultimate humiliation, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, and I do believe there's one of our friends, a mutual friend of ours, did describe recently about a girl he knows who was basically flown to like the States or something like this to do something like this.
Well, have you heard of it in the Emirates?
No, what's this?
You want to go dark quickly?
Yeah, let's do it.
So basically, there's if you want to make some money as a young, attractive girl, you can go to Emirates, and basically you arrive, you're young, fit, and untapped.
Untapped?
Well, unknown, should we say? You're new on the scene.
New on the scene, right?
Grade A.
Yeah, right. Is that
That's your first year?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, grade A off the boat, you're a certain price, you know what I mean? You can,
You're fresh meat.
Exactly, yeah, you can party and get a decent income for that newness, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then suddenly you're grade B, you know what I mean? And the slope is so hot and fast that you're suddenly D before you know it.
Really?
Yeah, really quick. Yeah, when you've been there a while, you're really grade D, and then you slip down that alphabet so fast, you become a toilet girl.
Is it like the world's worst episode of sort of Sesame Street?
Yeah. You didn't even hear what I said. You slip that fast, you become a toilet girl.
A toilet girl?
Yeah. So
toilet girl?
A girl that's a toilet.
What? Really?
Yeah. You literally open your mouth and being a toilet, for money.
What? Is this a thing?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So, right, when you're in grade A, right, and everything's shiny, do you know that in your future soon, when you're hitting X, Y, Z...
No, you don't know that. You don't know that future. If you want to stay in Dubai, you know what I mean, if you really want to stay and keep the money flowing and have that lifestyle... Yeah,
so do you think this might be what's happened to Katie Price?
Well, I think it's part of the deal, isn't it?
Because we don't know where the photo was taken.
Oh, it could be Dubai.
Could be Dubai.
That's interesting.
So she might have been XYZ toilet girl in Dubai.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
All of this is really allegedly.
Right, okay. Oh, look at you. Really late covering of the tracks. Well, we're not naming anybody apart from Katie Price, and the evidence is there that she's the toilet girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's there, she is the toilet girl. So, I mean, I suppose it depends how much money's on the table, yet again, isn't it?
No, not for that one.
No, I don't want to put
I'm not. Yeah, I can't do that one.
Because that's another thing of like, not for me. The idea of me squatting over somebody's mouth and crimping one out is just abhorrent.
It's
just abhorrent.
I don't know what the word means, but I know what the word means.
Horrible.
I know it.
Yeah. And I don't want to do that.
I'll tell you what, kid. Can we go now, please? Because it's a place where I don't want to be, and I don't think any of them want to be here.
Yeah, well,
shall
we
we
have
move
to
on?
cover. This is news.
Totally cover it.
Right, we've discovered it. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
If any more news comes out, who's done the pooing?
Yes.
The whole situation, whether it was Harvey who's done the poo. We will keep the cup. Well, we've got these our duties. So
true,
we've got to
true.
keep everyone up to. So we will keep you informed
Yeah.
about who did the poo and with the whole Katie Price situation. Keep tuned.
Let's not linger. Come on, our kid.
So as we like to do at the Cove, we like a little bit of a keep up with the news,
Yes.
keep up with we've already spoken to sort of
Finger
thing.
on the pulse, our kid.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And we talked about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's one of the runners and riders in the US presidential race.
Yes.
And I've told you before, he had like a bit of a damage throat, so he sort of talks a bit weird like this.
Brainworms or something. I don't remember.
It was brainworms. That's right. He had brainworms had been feasting upon his brain matter.
My God.
Absolutely vile, right? Now you have to wonder that how would you get brainworms?
Yeah,
You know what I mean, you
yeah.
have to wonder this sort of thing. You know, what
like
I mean?
rubbing raw pork in your eyes or something.
Yeah, well, I might have the answer to this, right? Because there's been a new controversial thing come out. He's admitted to as Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? This runner and rider, right? How? Now, there's no easy way of saying this, right? But basically, what he's saying is this has been a mystery that has baffled New York for 10 years. There's been a bafflement in there, right? And what has happened was somebody found in New York's sort of in Central Park, wherever it is, right, in New York, right, there was found an abandoned bike, right, which looked like it was sort of like it had just been sort of like an accident had happened. The bike had crashed, and underneath the bike was a dead bear cub.
In Central Park.
Central Park, right? Yeah. So in New York, there was a bike abandoned. There was a dead bear trapped under the bike,
What?
and nobody could understand what the fucking hell had happened.
Like the bike had gone in. You can't kill
Like,
a bear
what-
with it. Even if you would repeatedly braid the shit out of that
Yeah.
baby bear, you wouldn't going to kill it with a bike.
You couldn't kill it with a bike, right? But this is what nobody could understand. Everybody, this was sort of like this was a bear that was found in New York Central Park in 2014.
Yeah.
And nobody could understand what the fuck had happened. There were no mama bear about, nothing like that. There was just a dead bear killed by a bike.
In Central Park.
So the person who's admitted to this now
Kennedy.
is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
What?
Right. Now, what he said was, right, he was out on heading to a falconry outing, right?
Wait, like falcon.
Falconry hunting, that sort of thing. He's a bit of a hunting guy, is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.,
This is a
right?
bit too much for me. I don't like these.
So what had happened was he'd been on his way out to sort of rural New York, sort of
Yeah.
like state, so out there
With
you
his
know,
falcon?
No, to a falconry place. He's not. He's not.
I thought you were driving.
He's on his bike with a falcon on that side. He's in his
passing,
car
is he?
driving along, right, and he's seen a woman has hit and killed a bear cub
Oh, shit.
on the side of the road, right?
But that's a bang.
And so what he decided, the quote unquote, he says, I saw it, and he says, I decided I was going to skin the bear, and then I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State, and then you get a bear tag for a roadkill bear. So what it is because these areas you can hunt bear or certain
Yeah,
animals,
yeah.
but you get like a tag or a license for it, something
just
like
say
that.
you hadn't
know
gone
what I
out
mean?
and shot a bear.
Yeah,
It's
that's
literally.
That's
yeah.
exactly right. It's a roadkill, so you get like a license for it. And then, as he said there, what he's decided to do is keep the bear fur for whatever. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're going to use a little bear cub's fur for. And also,
a little bath mat, maybe.
of quite nice. I'm
liking the sound of
the
this
sound of that.
kid,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. So he'd seen this, and then what he'd done is basically ragged the bear off the road, dumped it in his boat, right, and then he'd carried on to the
that's
old.
heavy as
I
well.
bet it's heavy as fuck, you know.
So he's manhandled it into his boat, and he
That's
had
it.
just picked it up.
So then he went to the falconry event, then he went out to dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse in New York City, right? Which is 75.
He's fucking driving around with a fucking dead bear in his boot.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I hope he's arsehole when he's doing all
Oh,
this.
well, I do as well, because this is just...
Fucking replace him,
yeah,
like,
that's
just
it.
fucking burning life up in it.
So then... But then he realised, right, he's got a flight the next morning. He hasn't got time in New York to butcher a bear,
Yeah.
right, skin it, harvest the meat, get it all in the freezer, right? And he's thinking, what the fuck am I going to do, right? And he says that is when it occurred to him that there had been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. And now get this, and he happened to have an old bicycle in his car.
Wow.
Now, what is this fucking guy's car like?
Falcon bike, dead bear. I bet his glove box is just full of drugs.
No, this is the guy who's claiming he wants to be president of the United States of America, right?
He's got my vote.
That's already had it, right? So then he decided, what am I going to do? How am I going to get rid of everything, right?
Yeah.
So he just thought,
Dump the bear, dump the bike.
dump the bear, but stage the accident.
That's
in Central
insane.
Park.
That is so insane.
And now he just thought it'd be like a little wheeze, but apparently this story absolutely took off.
Wow.
It hit all
So
the
he's
major...
dragging this round on his own, giggling and shit,
Yes.
middle of morning.
Yeah.
That is disturbing behaviour.
Fucked, isn't it? It is fucked.
Kind of doffing me cap in my mind, just like, well done, good job.
But he's the guy. He says, no, you can trust me with the buttons of the nuclear defences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't trust this guy with anything.
Yeah.
If he thinks this, right for a start, harvesting bear meat is not a good idea. Roadkill meat is a good. This is how his fucking brainworm started.
Oh, man.
Roadkill.
Yeah. that's-
Wild bear meat is going to be full of all kinds
I've
of
heard
shit.
roadkill. You shouldn't eat roadkill because you know when you, let's say you go halal on it and you turn it upside down, slit its throat, and the blood runs out.
Yeah.
Good meat, you know what I mean? Or you know how we do it. Bleeding out's supposed to be pretty good for a meat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
I've
it.
heard.
Yeah.
But if you smash into it with something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's all bust up, all
Oh,
belly
guts burst
juices.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like me coming down them stairs.
Basically, you know that puddle on the floor
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Puddle of you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
used to be you.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
like,
good to
right,
know.
bad meat,
Yeah,
you're bad meat.
I'm fucking roadkill.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And you want to eat me.
No, I really won't.
Yeah.
No. And it-
So this is the thing. So basically, this whole occurrence is this is the guy who wants to be the president of the United States of America has staged this little wheeze with a dead bear and an old bike, and a dead bear he had in his car.
Imagine his parties. I want to go to one of his parties.
Yeah, that'd
Oh,
be
me.
wild, won't they?
Falcons and bears and bikes and
I just want to see what's going on in your head now.
I can see it. The Vulcan were on the bike. You know what I mean?
yeah, right,
That's how it got broke. No, you can set me up.
Continuing the news roundup, kid, of things that's been occurring, because this is why this week we've got lots of bits, really. It's lots of bits because there's been lots of little news roundups which I thought that's a fucking mad story. And that's a mad story.
It's
And
getting
I'm like,
madder, isn't it?
Yeah,
out there,
and this is
more.
basically, I think this is the meat and drink, excuse the pun, compared to the last story. This is the meat and drink of Kraken Cove, really. It isn't always like searching into cryptids or odd things.
Yeah.
Weird news is actually the staple for me.
That's exactly what it is.
And it's because this is travelling in the footsteps of Charles Fort of 14 times fame. Is the fact that he found the most interesting and amazing weird stories was actually the news stories. That's what he liked. He trod through old stories to find reports. But the way things are at the moment, you don't have to fucking go far to find some weird news stories. So this is one which is just fucking mental. And the headline is, this is a BBC News headline, right? So this is: the mystery surrounds a US woman found starving and chained to a tree in India.
Shit, a US woman in India?
US woman
Whoa.
in India, right?
Oh, God.
So basically what had happened was, right, Lolita Kaye, 50, was discovered a week
Sounds like something about Die Hard.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Was discovered a week ago in the dense forests of the Sindhudurg district after her cries for help were heard by shepherds. They alerted the police, who sawed off the chain and rescued her.
Jesus.
She was found emaciated and was taken to hospital. Her physical health has since improved, and she's moved to a psychiatric facility now, right? Because basically it looks like she's been chained there for so long, she's gone fucking mental.
Oh, God.
Right? Police say they're looking for a husband, right, who they say chained her and left her in the forest to die without food or water.
Whoa, that's
right?
a grim way to die.
They reckon he's in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. Right. So, 7 days after Ms. Kayu was rescued, many questions remain unanswered. So a cowherd who found her last Saturday told the BBC in the area that he had taken his cattle to graze in the forest when he heard a woman screaming loudly. The sound was coming from the forest on the side of the mountain. When I went there, I saw that one of her legs was tied to a tree and she was screaming like an animal.
Shit almighty.
Alright, she was incredibly emaciated, right? She
Oh.
was starved, she was suffering from dehydration, she was suffering from starvation. But the fact she had the energy and strength still to sort of fucking howl like this, you know what I mean, is quite something.
Oh.
But they're saying she had a mobile phone, a tablet, and 31,000 rupees, which is about $370 in her possession,
What?
which allowed them to rule out theft as a motive. Now, I don't know. It might be the fact she just had no signal in the area. You know what I mean?
That's unlucky.
Yeah, that is unlucky, you know what I mean? But why she still had those things? Her husband left her with money, a phone, and all that sort of stuff.
Sorry, was she naked or was she clothed?
I think she was clothed.
Yeah.
I think she was clothed. Yeah, that's, you know. And it was just pure luck that she was that a shepherd came by that day. God. Now I've got a few issues with this sort of thing, right? Now they do say that she had wounds on her leg and that she appeared to be suffering from a mental health condition.
Yeah.
Now she still had her phone on her, so she had identification. People could ID her from the phone. You know what I mean? She had enough stuff with her to ID her. So if you were going to be killing somebody, you wouldn't leave them with everything.
Unless you check. It's like checking phone, isn't it? You'd have to check the phone, 'cause it's a bit. You don't chain someone to a tree if they're just going to ring someone. So did he know there's no signal?
Well, that's the thing that sort of gets me, right? According to the police, Miss Kayu was a ballet dancer and yoga practitioner in America. Some reports say specifically Massachusetts, and moved to India about 10 years ago to study yoga and meditation in Tamil Nadu. And it's there that she met her husband, right? Her husband have called him, apparently his name is Satish. So there's not much really known about them. They're saying she was initially unable to speak, so she communicated with the policemen and doctors by scribbling notes on a pad. Through them, she blamed her husband for tying her to the tree and claimed she'd gone without food and... Now, this is mad. Gone without food and water for 40 days.
What?
Impossible.
Have you seen Jesus?
This is the other thing I think is a bit weird about this, right?
40.
She
No
cla-
matter yoga's gonna like.
She claimed she'd been given an injection for extreme psychosis, which locked her jaw and prevented her from drinking water, and that she had to be provided nutrition intravenously. Right, so this is the thing where the whole thing deepens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, what she's claiming is something's happened to her where she's suffered from some form of psychosis
Before the event.
Yeah, she's had an injection which has locked her jaw. Means now, right? You've got your jaw clenched. I mean, if I said to you, "There's no food and drink for Benny Boy," you'd still manage to get some
Mate,
fucking.
I would drink soup through my teeth.
Yeah, that's
You know?
exactly. Well, your teeth, you could have. You drink gallons.
Wouldn't affect me at all. Eat a steak.
Yeah.
Push it in. All chicken.
Or you just open them like sliding doors and pop it in.
They'll just spring back again.
Yeah.
Ching ching.
This is the thing with this woman. What this woman's claiming, she's basically saying that she suffered from psychosis. Something's happened. She's had this injection. She's not made anything. If anything, it's made things worse. She's claimed she's not eaten or drunk anything for 40 days. Impossible, especially out in the fucking middle of nowhere in India.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be lucky to last fucking 40 hours in a lot of places
exactly.
like that. You
Eating
know what I
alive,
mean?
wouldn't you?
So she doesn't sound quite right to me anyway.
The thing that gets me as well is the thing is like, hey, love, do you want to go for a walk? And you're going for a walk, and you think, why has he got that massive fucking chain?
I think it's a case if he has done this, I think he's basically dumped her in the car, got everything ready.
Yeah.
You got her in boot or whatever
Dragged
it is,
her up
dragged her
some-
up there and says, right, you're fucking staying, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he's gone through her pockets for all the money or a phone or anything like that, because I think it's more a case of like chain her up and jump out of the way. I think she's a fucking being a bit scary.
Yeah.
I'm not in any way defending the husband if he has done this, you know what I mean? But let's face it, we've all thought about it.
Plenty of
But the also flip side of this is, has she done it to herself? She's not in a right state of mind.
Yeah.
She's
Especially that bit with Yogi, they like all that. She's proud as punch, isn't she?
Yeah.
About 40 days. Not
well, I
eating.
think this is part of the boast,
Yeah.
in a weird way. Saying, look, I've managed to, because of my yogic practices, I've managed to survive 40 days and 40 nights without fucking food or drink, because I've probably gone into some mad meditative state.
I'm getting a bit of psychic there. I'm feeling book deal.
So that's uncanny, actually.
My yoga days in the forest of India.
Yeah, the
40 days without food.
Yeah, I just think that I think what's ever's happened to her has been fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Because even if she's done it to herself, if, for example, if she's got like a chain as tight as she can around her leg or whatever, and then she's padlocked it, then thought, fuck.
Yeah. I
You know,
don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do this anymore. That's bad.
Yeah.
If her husband has done it to her, which he seems like he's gone on the run somewhere, that's much worse.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
Poor woman, you know, I mean, she's a victim. She's not telling the truth about 40 days in the thing, so that's mental as well. The whole thing, it just begs more questions. So this is why I reported on this one, because the whole thing's a weird story that we need to watch.
Let's park it. We could open that up like Katie Price pool.
Yeah, that's it.
We could go back to this
I
one.
think with all these stories we've had so far, we could. There's a whole other episode, later episode, just recovering all these
we
stories.
can find out they're all linked and stuff.
Oh, maybe it's a bear poo. Oh, okay.
Not about bear. Fucking hell, I don't want to think about bear anymore.
You find with Katie's tummy poo, mate.
Falcon poo.
Falcon poo, yeah, maybe that's it. So I think the whole thing is just it's a weird one.
Wow, it's Weird World Arcade.
Weird World Arcade,
It
yeah.
is.
I don't like to generalise. This is something I'm moving away from at the moment, is the whole idea of it's a Weird World Arcade, everything's fucked.
Yeah.
I'm sick of people saying, everything's fucked, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's folks, it's just getting weirder, I think. It's
It is,
accelerating.
yeah.
Humanity's accelerating.
It is, but this is the thing that I'm taking a massive deal of pleasure in at the moment, is in the macro, not in the shop.
Not in Thailand. No,
Yeah. But basically what I've been doing a lot recently is I'm studying sort of the small things in life, very closely studying. I'm looking through some French illustrators' work from about 1904, where they're looking at the tiny little things and the beauty in the miniature and in nature. It's absolutely fascinating. One thing I'm doing a study of at the moment is I'm doing a poppy seed head at the moment.
all right, I saw that one. I saw that one.
So like your hand carved. That's the plate of it. So basically, to study something small and to carve.
That's
it,
really nice.
and to carve it is actually, it's very meditative, and it also highlights that while all this mad shit humans are doing, give me that. While all this mad shit that humans are doing, he's fucking Billy Bonk Bonks. It's mental. There's loads of stuff that's going on in the world which is just really, really nice.
Going back to the poppy seed thing, though, that poppy head, all you got to do is get a bit of cotton at night and strangle it a bit with cotton, at the top, near the head of it. Come next day.
You give me a twitch here, kid.
I was going to say, it looks like your cock anyway, does that? Tiny and black. But you put cotton around it and it sweats all opium out of it, and then you can just like rub a reefer all over it like a Rizzler.
Yeah.
And then you just blow that and
and one get addicted to opium.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how your life spirals. That's the start. Do it in your own garden. That.
Oh, that can you? That's faces. I might give that.
Spiral totally out of control.
That sounds champion. Abroad, I think this is the thing. We're still whirring around the sort of like the news headlines of the world at the moment. I think that's what's I'm quite enjoying that, you know. And talking of things like opium and things like that, you know, I think you've got to be a little bit careful of narcotics in that sense. You don't want to be poisoned. That's the thing. You've got to be careful because poisoning's not very nice. But there's a weird one here, right? Now, we talked about before, didn't we, about Russian chess champions cheating.
Yeah, with that thing up the booty.
Yeah,
vibrating butt plug.
So they have a vibrating, sort of like automatically activated butt plug where, you know, you could do, you know, they have a computer work out chess moves for you by studying the board from afar. And by buzzing little sort of like Morse code in your arsehole, you can work out the best chess moves to do. But if things don't go quite right with that, you know, you've got other options to do here. So we've got a case of Amina Abakarova, right? Abakarova. She's 43-year-old and she's a chess champion, Russian chess champion, right? And apparently she's a good player, got a great sort of like a pedigree as a great player and everything like that, right? Now she's facing a possible prison sentence because during a chess tournament in Makhachkala, right, in southern Russia.
Oh, yeah.
She snuck into the arena. So these arenas, imagine like a big sports hall with like loads of like chessboards all laid out on the tables, ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You've seen them. She snuck into the one where her childhood rival was playing against somebody else, right? And she has smeared her chess pieces in mercury.
Oh, fuck, that's dark. Can't you see it? Can you see mercury? It's all
I think it can, it's silvery, but I think there's also something, if it absorbs into something like wood, perhaps, you know, it might be invisible.
Oh, shit.
You know, and I didn't think she'd be touching it. I mean, she's nowhere to touch it anyway as much as we did when we were kids.
Didn't do us any harm, did it?
Did it, our kid? No, that's it.
Rolling about
We're
in the
not
force.
fucked. But as it happened, she's done this, right? But they didn't know anything about it, right, until the victim started complaining of severe dizziness and nausea during the game. So it did work. It poisoned her. It poisoned her. So that's when they looked back at the CCTV of the game and they realised they saw her sneaking into the hall, looking around, checking everything out, then going to that table and then smearing a substance on the chess pieces.
That's
that turned out to be mercury.
That is really dark.
Isn't it? Russians and poisoning.
They love it. Love a bit of poison. Russians.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Sneaky fuckers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Sneaky fuckers. You know what I mean? Poisoning's a bit... It's a dirty...
It's a dirty game, Arcade.
Isn't it? It's sneaky, dirty, shifty game. Underhanded. I'll go as far as...
I quite like the Russians for it, though. You know what I mean? They're really naughty. They're proper naughty.
They are these sort of planet's evil, sort of evil schemers. They are Bond villains as a nation. You know?
Most of them are. I think Russia, like I said it before, it's just the government's just been so twisted. It's so corrupt on the high levels that they can't get away from it. But I reckon the normal people must be quite nice. But do you think they're sneaky fuckers too?
I think a lot of the time with Russians, because of the way they've been... I think when you go right back to like their serfdom that they used to have in Russia, so basically, you know, before they had the communist revolution, you were either of the upper classes or your life was dirt poor. You basically lived in some absolutely godforsaken fucking village. Tilled the soil till you died of the ripe old age of 35 and vodka
of old
poisoning,
age,
food poisoning and stuff. Vodka just came about from wheat and brewing wheat and potato hooch, really. From all the rotten stuff that they couldn't eat, they turned it into booze.
Kids could buy beer over there. They just buy beer like pop. They don't think it's booze.
No, that's it's not categorised as booze.
It isn't booze. It's like shit. Am I all right then?
No. Russia's the place that's not all right.
And
I think because they've had such an absolutely grindingly tough lifestyle for their entire, as a nation, as a people, they've had a fucking tough deal constantly, and it's never got easy. It's never some
They've
point.
never had a break.
It's never been like the golden age of like Russian for the people. There's been wonderful times of like the Tsars and stuff like this when you look at these fantastically rich royal families getting up to all kinds of incredible stuff, and you think, oh God, weren't they amazing? But the reality is that it was a series of vast land wars, ruled over by insanely rich lunatics, inbred lunatics, who just lauded it and taxed the people to death and starvation. And I think as a result that breeds into a nation a sort of toughness, which is, and they're sort of
they love it.
They're sort of like, they can take anything, the Russians, in a sense. So, and I do admire that.
One of my favourite books is Russian.
All right, which one's that?
Master and Margarita.
No, I've never read it, but it's meant to be very, very good.
Oh, mate, it's fucking
Is it?
Yeah, it's so good. I read it like once every couple of years. I can't leave it alone.
Oh, that's good.
There's a couple of movies that I just think I'm not going to spoil it because I don't think it's filmable. It's just so bizarre.
I think there's a few films like that. I'll give that a little word. There's a little reading tip from Benny there.
It's a beautiful, beautiful book. It ticks so many boxes as well. It's just like a rainbow, beautiful.
Well, I'm definitely going to read that because I'm in the sort of queue for some more books. If I say the queue, I've got tons of books to read.
Shit, I like books. It gets long. It's like a bus length now.
I know,
it's just ridiculous.
It's preposterous, isn't it?
You never get time to read. No, holy shit.
You're too busy drinking.
I'm too busy with telly.
Won't watch it yourself. But I think we can safely say one thing you do want to. And now I'm not knocking the Russians as an intelligent and wonderful people with a great history. I just think if you have, as a nation, a very, very, very tough, hard, and sometimes sort of like brutally sort of short life, you learn to be tough people that don't take any shit. And I think as a result of that, that's why the Russians have what we might consider a certain streak of villainy in them.
They're just surviving.
It's a question of survival. I think sometimes if you have to be the toughest on the block to survive, then that perhaps is why the Russians have got that reputation. This does not excuse Putin anything for what he's doing at the moment. You know what I mean?
Gobbling.
That's it. But I think for the rest of them, you've got to admire them from afar, but watch yourself.
Wash your hands. Shit.
Talk about the Russians being canny, right, and survivors, and there's somebody here who is the absolute polar opposite of canny, right?
Sounds interesting.
I'm not going to say anything much more about it. I'm just going to tell you the tale of this guy, right? This is a tale of a guy called Mark Fletcher, 49, right? Fletcher, right? And he was checking his lottery numbers.
Oh.
And then he added them all up and he realised, fuck, they've come in, I've got all my lottery numbers. I've got my lottery numbers, right?
Yeah.
Then he thought, I'll have a little check out how much he's won, from his lottery numbers. 11 million quid.
That's a nice day, isn't it? Yeah.
That is a nice day, and that's exactly what Mark Fletcher thought.
Yeah.
He thought he was absolutely in the fucking grave, you know what I mean? So then he did the natural thing. He phoned the lottery company. Said, "Look,
let's check
my numbers." You know what I mean? So they checked his numbers. So these are the numbers that are the winning numbers, right? Read out the numbers on your ticket, sort of thing. And he starts trying to do that, and he's not getting anywhere with them. They're saying, "Look, we've got no sort of like thing here for you."
Oh dear!
Right? He's reading out. No, you don't understand. These are the numbers. These are the numbers. I'm reading them out, and they're saying, "Yeah, but we've got no registration of you having bought a ticket. You haven't bought a ticket." He's on the phone for 45 minutes, right? Before he realised he was looking at the results checker and not actually looking at the ticket he'd bought.
Oh.
Right? Now, Mark then realised he'd never even bought a fucking ticket.
What?
Yeah. He hadn't bought the ticket.
What funny.
He was looking at the thinking he thought he'd bought a ticket, he hadn't. And he'd no ticket
hell.
bought. He was looking at the list of winning numbers and he thought, that's my winning numbers, I've won the lottery. Just by looking at the winning numbers. He spent 45 minutes, right, talking to this person saying, no, I've won. They're going, you haven't got a fucking ticket, right?
Whoa.
Now, there's two sides to this now, right? He's a bit fucking peeved, he's Fletcher, right?
Not at himself, but at the lottery.
He's pissed off with the lottery because the way they treated him on the phone, right?
Jesus.
He's on the phone 45 minutes with some fucking operator who's trying to tell him you haven't got a ticket, you haven't won the lottery. He's getting more and more irate about it, right?
Jesus.
He hasn't done this. Next thing you know, he says, when I rang them up to check, I was on the phone for 45 minutes and the woman was adamant I wasn't a winner. Then I asked why it was telling me I'd won if there was a fault with the app, and they denied that also. I felt as if I was being put under a lie detector. She kept saying, you haven't bought a ticket, have you, Mark?
Because you haven't. You absolute nugget.
He says, when people play the lotto, they think it's a trustworthy service. But I'm doubting that now. They've not shown any empathy towards me. It has impacted me. I'm left thinking about all the what-ifs. If they told me I've won, but in actual fact I've won nothing, it's a bit cruel and I've had sleepless nights. Now, one thing I want to point out, they have not told him he's won. He's told himself he's won.
God, that's so delusional.
He's so delusional. Now, I couldn't understand all the what-ifs and being a bit pissed off and being a bit like, fucking hell, no, I thought I'd won 11 million quid, that's great.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I'd have literally gone out of my house and crawled under a rock or under a shed or
I
something
look
like
at
that.
myself in the mirror. You like looked at me like, oh shit,
Yeah.
come on, Benny, come back.
The last thing I'd have done is gone to the metro and told the
Oh my
I
God.
won't be going to the newspapers to say,
Yeah.
hello, this is Mark Fletcher, 49, yes, I thought I'd won the lottery, but I didn't. I didn't even buy a ticket. I was 45 minutes on the phone to the operator.
Why would you go to papers?
To describe this moronic move.
It's ended in my divorce. Have
Yeah,
you got a wife? I'm not even real.
I'm not called Mark Fletcher. This guy...
Oh, maybe you got a picture of that.
I've got a picture of him, right? Now, one thing I do particularly
Whoa.
like, right, is that in this particular story, right, I'm looking at Mark Fletcher, but then I happen to notice the reporter on this.
Looks like an Australian mulleted man.
Josh Milton for the Metro. If you get a chance to have a look at this guy, he doesn't look like a reporter.
He doesn't look like a reporter at all. He
Yes,
should be
doesn't
like, bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah, he
in
looks like
Texas.
he looks like a Texan bare knuckle fighter. He looks, it's like this black wife beater, mustache and a mullet.
That's so strange.
But can you imagine being that kind of convinced? And what's he like in rest of life? He must be so stubborn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to say, like, you know, when the kind of bloke who will say black is white and white is black, sort of thing, you know, because he hasn't got a lottery ticket.
You know, sometimes I look at people and think, how do you live? How do you have a house? Do you have a job? You know what I mean? I just look at him and think,
How do you cope?
Yeah, you just look at him and think, how have you got to that age and be like that?
There's a couple of things I've been thinking about recently. Nothing too deep about it, really. You know what I mean? Because
You think some fucking weird shit.
Well, Ayn Rand, right, who wrote the Atlas Shrugged, the books she wrote are extremely controversial, and all your tech bro billionaires and stuff love her books, right? And she, I think the first book she wrote was called Fountainhead. And these books have been used. She's basically one step away from almost like being an artsy.
Shit.
She's a very weird woman, or she was a very, very, very harsh, very cruel kind of woman in her own right. And apparently, people say she's an utter bitch.
Wow.
But so people like Elon Musk and Trump and things like that, they love her books and her writings. All like
That's
Wall
scary.
Street millionaires, all your sort of like all your rich boys love her books, and you'll see like loads of corporations, things called the Fountainhead or the Rand Corporation, all named after her. And there's quite a lot of like multi-millionaires. Their kids have got like the middle names like Aunt Rand or something like that, you know, yeah, or named after characters in the books.
Justification for that evil act.
Well, it is in a way, but what she says is that we should stop supporting each other.
Yeah.
She advocates for absolute selfishness,
Wow.
where you become the master of your own destiny. You look after number one. You do not look after anybody else around you. You succeed using all your energies and powers to succeed for yourself.
Wow.
Now, but what that does is then it means all the creatives, all the rich people, all the people who are making stuff, they don't have to expend any energy in supporting people who can't cope. It acts as a filter in a way. This sounds awful. It acts as a filter in a way for all those people who aren't able to support themselves or look after themselves. Now, the reason I'm talking about this isn't because I believe it. I can understand it. I can understand the concept of saying, you know, look, there's all these people around, there's so many billions on the planet. How many of those people, of those billions, are supporting the other set of people? You know what I mean? How many people are carrying the others? And would the world be a better place if there was only the people who were capable of, you know, coping?
Well, liquidation.
Her theory, the way she worked, it was that all the really sort of rich and all the, I believe, I've not read the book and I won't read the book. It's a waste of time. Is that all the people who are millionaires, all the billionaires, all the rich people, all the creatives, all those sort of like people, they disappear. And they just leave everybody else to their own devices, and they all just sort of fade and go to pieces. And the idea is to let the world crumble and go to pieces without being
sidestep it, like
sidestep it, and then they come back in and rebuild the world. So it's the Hitlerian sort of like the Nazi version of the Herrenvolk and the Untermensch, which is the master race and the sort of like the underclass. And that's basically what she's advocating. I do not advocate that. What makes us human? I mean, as somebody said before about they found one of the most amazing things that they'd ever found was a Neanderthal leg bone. And in a cave, and it had been broken, and it was a devastating damage, but it had been fixed. This is a 250,000-year-old bone, maybe more, maybe 1 million, maybe 2 million years, God knows that. But that shows that somebody in the tribe had thought, oh no,
another monkey man helped him.
They've helped them, they've supported them, they've healed them, they've fed them, they've clothed them, they've kept them warm, protected. They've not left them out to die. And this is what humans are. This is what we do. This is why we are successful. I think the minute we stop supporting each other as a tribe and only look after our own self-interest, it'd be only them cunts left. That's it. Well, the thing is, it's all very well and good look after yourself if you see yourself as that master, but if you see yourself as, oh, you know, I'm capable, so I'm alright, so I'll have to do, and it's all fine until you're the one on the shitty,
exactly,
and you need that help and you need that support. We are a planet-wide tribe that has to support each other and look after each other for our own welfare and well-being. The downside is Mark Fletcher.
Very well done. Yeah.
So we do support people who do something so inept and stupid as to argue
against himself.
That's it.
And publicise it.
Yeah, and publicise. That's the thing. And publicise his own stupidity, and to publicise it. So this is the issue. So but to any society, is an upside and downside. We do need to support each other, but unfortunately, we do get Mark Fletchers in amongst all this.
I suppose it makes it funny, doesn't it?
Something
to laugh at, something to point at.
Something to point at. And say, at least that's not me.
Nearly for the springtime, when we take the road once more, for the planting and the purling and the berry fields ablaze, we'll meet up with our kinfolk from all the world around, when the gang of good folk take the road and yellers on the broom. When Yellow's on the brew, when Yellow's on the brew, and I'll get you on the road again. When Yellow's on the brew.
Part of the issue you sometimes have as well is with there being an upper class, as we said with the Russians there as well, with there being this insanely sort of rich upper classes, or if you were to create this hierarchical society where only the best and only the greatest and the richest can go away to these sort of secure places and survive while everybody else just goes to pieces. You know, this is part of the issue you have, and what you have then is you have something like King Charles, don't you?
Oh God!
So what's Charlie bringing to the table? Do you
These
think?
big pork fingers.
Yeah.
Charlie, you can't call him King. You know, it's Charles. That's what.
Yeah, well,
Charlie.
Charlie. Well, I'll have to call him King Charles for the state of argument here. So King Charles, as you well know with him, he's a problematic figure for me. You know what I mean? I couldn't understand. He's got very good eco credentials that he likes, like, you know, eco-friendly things. Yeah. But he comes at it from a position which is not realistic, in the sense that, like, Cornwall was basically fucked by him. Now well, if you look at the whole motorway network of the UK, right, the only place that doesn't have a motorway to connect it is Cornwall.
Right.
It's just a glorified A road.
Right.
You know, so if you want to get to Cornwall, there's like a road that you have to get in and out on, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as fast as it should be. It's not as safe as it should be.
Yeah.
With that lack of connectivity, because he owned the Duchy of Cornwall for so long, he had the yay and nay on it. He could sort of say what went on. So he didn't. He fought against any kind of factories being built there. For any industry and things like that. He completely
keep Cornwall
like a chocolate box village.
Yeah,
that's what he's done. Now, as it happens, his eco sort of overwatch of this has kept it an incredibly beautiful and spoilt part of the UK. The downside is for people who live there. It's very depressed economically.
Right.
You know, really, it's because there's no jobs. There's nothing to do while you're there.
Yeah.
You know, and he does build these things on his estates, like, you know, quaint little cheese farm factories and sort of like little vineyards and things. You know, he does do this sort of thing, but it's not
enough for the
It's not
people.
enough.
Yeah,
it's not a real world solution to the problems that Cornwall is facing. You know, and he's not stopping people coming in buying second homes for absolute fortunes. You know, not living in them.
Yeah.
So So this is a
that
big
is
issue you got. So one of the things that his solutions is, he still likes his big cars.
Does he?
He likes his
rollers.
big cars and things like that. So he's got this big Aston Martin, absolutely fucking beautiful Aston Martin, right? So he's decided he can't run it on petrol anymore. Wow. You know what I mean? You can't run it on petrol anymore. So he's got to have an alternative fuel. So what do you think? What would you run? If you're a king, right, who lives like he lives, what
It's
would
obvious. It's peasant blood.
Oh no, he
Peasant
runs
sweat.
He runs his Aston Martin on cheese and wine.
What the fuck? How that impossible? You can't be a king and have a car that's run on cheese and wine.
You shouldn't be a king that runs a car.
How's that possible? Give me some science there.
So what it is, right? It's surplus English white wine, right?
When is it surplus? Give it to me.
That's it. And it's the whey. So the curds are what you make the cheese from. The whey from the cheese process, right? He does something with these to distill it down to a form of ethanol.
Right.
So he takes them down to a sort of like a burnable fuel.
Yeah.
So it's like a distillation process. Now you can't tell me whatever this distillation process is. It's not
eco.
It's not eco. It's basically a substance called of bioethanol. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So he's been taking. Now there's a lot.
Cheese and wine.
Now, there's loads of vans around the UK. I think it's McCain's runs all their fleet of wagons on chip fat. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
I was taking piss then.
Yeah. no, we said it at the same time as well. Chip fat. And apparently that's what it does. It does run him on that.
Wow.
So you can sort of refine those oils down to a fuel.
That's bizarre, isn't it?
It is bizarre.
Explodingness out of that.
How do you mean?
You need explosions in it. Our car runs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you make. How do you? I was saying that chip pan fire's pretty lethal.
There you go.
Yeah. Get in there, Hacky.
Wow.
That was beautiful to watch.
Yeah. Thinking, what? Oil?
I'll imagine, you just imagine now, you're lifting in bonnet at wagon up and you've just got fat fryers in bottom there, a load of chips on guard. Ooh, that's nice.
Do you know I would stop his car?
Go on.
With a wet tea towel.
So it's basically Charlie thinks he's like this big sort of eco warrior because that's what he's doing it.
I won't brag about that being king and cheese and wine. That's
know,
second
he does
piss.
that.
That's like
He's second
offensive, is that?
He's one of those things, if you're to say it, to go down to the council, drive it down to the council site, you would get attacked.
Absolutely. You'd go French, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Well,
there's nothing more French than actually driving a car and cheese and wine, is there? You know what I mean? But the reality is, you just think, mate, get a grip, get with a programme, you know what I mean? He's just
what do you think we're thinking about that?
Yeah, well, I don't think he gives a flying fuck at a rolling
no.
This is, again, a thing of somebody who lives so remotely that they just completely sort of lose the grip on the situation. But this is another thing I've been thinking about recently, is how far removed are we from the absolute sort of worst part of the UK?
Yeah.
You know, we think we say, life can be a bit tough at times, but it's nothing compared to how some people are really living tough.
Yeah, on Sunday, I had to go to a barbecue. Luckily, I only had to bob in and out because I'd been working, so I literally bobbed in and out. It took me about 7 minutes, I think, on an estate, and a bad estate, bad barbecue. It was just looking at them, I was just like, fuck me. I look like Prince Charles.
You may as well just stand up with your cheese and wine Aston Martin.
Exactly. Well, I'm dressed in velvet or something. I'm still in my work gear, and I'm just looking at them. I was like, fuck me. I had more teeth than all of them. And then these chompers.
How are we getting through meat then with no teeth? They just what was on Barbie? What was on?
Burnt, everything burnt. It was just loads, stacks of burnt meat, really bad sausages, and just burnt. It was just everything. It was just black, bright.
That sounds bleak.
It was really bleak. It were awful.
A bad barbecue.
Kid fell. 7 minutes over there when kids fell over and just gravel rashed his entire face and hands and stuff, and they're just like. Dad didn't even move. They're just like, someone else patching him up with dirty tissues and stuff. Like, oh God. Right, I'm just gonna go for a shower. I'll see you later, guys.
I won't ask what you were doing there.
No, you don't.
Imagine you coming away with all that meat going, what shit, all that.
You want to go chew it? Is it that time already?
It's that time.
I tell you what, I'm quenched.
Are you quenched?
Me, and this is just a cherry on the cake. Is this?
Yeah, well, this is the nice thing about these little stories. Lots of little stories.
Yeah, like
for a bit of freewheeling.
Yeah,
we've covered all the bases.
Fucking hell, we've been everywhere.
We've been everywhere.
All around the world.
Lions,
tigers, bears, poos.
The only thing we haven't done, we haven't travelled through. When I say travel through time, so not really travelling through time in the way like time travel. But we're talking about in a way that might suggest sort of like, a bit of nostalgia and things like that.
Yeah.
There's a lovely thought about it. And one of the things I always think about is, probably most nostalgically for a lot of people, is things like family pets.
Yes.
Family pets is always a nice one, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, so if we were to go back to the 80s and family pets, what do you straight away think about?
Sadie the dog.
Sadie the dog? You think about
dog.
that? Yeah.
Love that dog.
You didn't show, well, you loved it, but you didn't go out for it, did you?
I hunted it.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing, But what we've got a story about here is a much loved family tortoise.
Oh, nice.
A nice family tortoise, right? So we're going back to the early 80s, we're going back to 1982, right? So we're going to this Natalie de Almeida, right?
Yeah.
She knew stories about their beloved pet tortoise Manuela. Right, and it was just like one of these tortoises which are just, their lovely family pet. Everybody fucking loved it,
Lasted for years.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, lasted for years, right? Until it ran away, right?
Ooh.
In 1982, fucking tortoise legged it, you know what I mean? So, it went missing. And it was one of these things that they kept looking back, that good little tortoise. Wonder where it is now. They'd have, like you would do, you have a little imaginings and all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? So, anyway, flash forward 30 years, right?
Yeah.
30
You
years,
never.
right? So Almeida's grandfather had recently passed away, and a family had gathered at a mum's childhood home to sort through their possessions. Almeida's grandfather had left behind a very cluttered attic.
Yeah.
And as the room cleared and his things moved out for sorting, someone noticed something odd. There, in a box of an old wooden speaker, was a tortoise whom they recognised.
Not alive, that can't be fucking alive.
It was alive.
He's been in a box.
It's been in a box for 30
That
years.
ain't fucking real ass skip.
We were shocked, Almeida told the Dodo magazine. My mum arrived crying because she didn't believe it. They'd found Manuela. Incredibly, the tortoise had somehow managed to survive 3 decades trapped inside the storage space. She subsisted, her family suspects, by eating termite larvae in the overfilled room. So there was a termite infestation, right?
Wow.
Ironically, these termites then didn't overwhelm the house.
What? Manuel's saving the house.
But in a weird way, the tortoise could well have been saving the house from termites by eating all the termites all the time and thus surviving.
Jesus wept.
So the family were thrilled. So nearly 10 years after being found and 40 years after going missing, Manuela has never been better. But they're now recently identified as a boy tortoise, so that goes by the name of Manuel.
Oh.
Right? So this is now where what can you
fucking
imagine,
bizarre.
right? You never saw the body of the dog, Sadie, did you?
No, I didn't.
Right.
No.
Can you imagine 30 years later? You going into your loft,
Grey old saggy sad dog.
you
Oh.
open a box and find a fat old dog in there.
I just
he's
shut
your-
lid again.
Stamp on box. Die! Die! Die!
Oh, my belly. Oh, that's so
But the
weird,
idea of
isn't it?
getting
That's
to
haunted.
meet-
I won't like it. I'll be really scared
But
of
you
it.
would be meeting your childhood pet again.
Oh, I got my feeling.
Collapse. Don't die. Stamping on you. Die! Are you alright?
Yeah, better. Quick slurp. Jesus, that got me. Kind of frightened me a bit.
Don't have a heart. Don't
No,
die.
no, I'm alright.
I can't lift you. That's me stitches. But I think that opportunity to meet your childhood pet again
Yeah.
is a wonderful thing. But then there's also the massive racked guilt.
Yeah.
What the fuck have you been doing keeping a tortoise in a fucking loft for 30
How's he
years?
got up there?
I think what it is, and I've heard this story a couple of times before from people, where they've put the tortoise away to sort of hibernate.
Yeah.
Who fucking forgets?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you forgot for like a bit of a while, you'd suddenly think, oh, fucking hell, tortoise.
Tortoise, yeah.
Or when old kids are turning around and saying like, oh, tortoise has disappeared, where's tortoise? Tortoise has gone. You know, you wouldn't be thinking, that'd trigger something.
Yeah.
You'd suddenly think, oh, fuck, I put tortoise in loft.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be waiting 30 years.
I'm just thinking he ran off. You know, tortoise still ran off. He hasn't gone to shops or something, has he? You know what
Well,
I mean?
no, tortoises are really good at running off. They're
Are they?
great escape artists at tortoises. People
Jesus.
always mistake this because they're actually a canny reptile.
Ah.
So that they have got a tendency, they're very strong.
Yeah.
So they've got a tendency to dig out from under fences.
No way.
Yeah, they're really good diggers.
God, I never thought.
Yeah, they're really good diggers. So they dig out from under fences. And people just release them into the garden and think, oh, there's tortoise sign corner.
Yeah,
You're
what
doing
we do.
eating slugs.
Yeah.
Next thing, it's fucked off down street.
Jesus.
So yeah, they are quite, they're very good survival
Saw a
reptiles.
mole dig the other day, and that's frightening.
Fast, are they?
Oh my God, it's frightening.
Fast fuckers and moles.
Really. How do you do that?
Yeah. Where were the mole?
We were just on telly.
I thought you mean you really said it. You wouldn't tell it. It disturbs me, this. It really does.
Well, don't you watch telly?
Not much.
You do.
No, do you know what it is? It's sometimes on an evening it's on, but I'm not really watching much.
Yeah.
It's just on. I'd rather not be. I'd rather be reading a
Caught my
book.
eye though.
Caught your eye, did the mole having a good dig.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that's really, you're ripping all roots and grass and you're off.
He's a busy lad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, on that note, I think you better be wheeling me down to the docks to get me fucking stitched up again.
Yeah, I'll get you more sellotape on you.
Yeah.
I'll get a stapler.
So we'll do our best to sort of like see what we can do about getting another episode out there.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm doing edit on this one.
I know, I'm so busy.
Oh, I'm not. This is the thing. I know you're busy, but so am I. Anyway, we won't be bickering online.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So all it remains for me to say is a big bye-bye from Matt.
It's a bigger bye-bye from Benny. Take care, guys.
There are 3 ways you may contact Kraken Cove. Either by email at krakencovepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at Kraken Cove, or Instagram at Kraken Cove Pod. Ha ha!